Okay, so I'm not lying to you when I say seriously about 2 hours from this video, I just saved my son's life from drowning. And if you've been following me for the past couple of years, I started out kind of the basic fitness channel like everybody else. I've been in this industry for over 20 years. I'm 44 years old. I've studied from a lot of great guys. I got a lot of mentors. I've got a lot of certs and things that aren't really important to me. What's important to me is the grind. What's important to me is that you practice what you preach. All right. What's important is the time in the trenches. All right. In the weight rooms, doing the things you need to do to get the job done. Now, as time went on, I kind of got away from more weightlifting and I got more into jiu-jitsu. After I retired from MMA, from the UFC, I was on the Ultimate Fighter. And then from there, when I found my jiu-jitsu career, it really blossomed. My eyes really opened up to sports performance. So when it came to like Instagram, I really became more involved in specifically training grapplers. All right, doesn't matter if you're a wrestler, doesn't matter if you're MMA, doesn't matter if you're jiu-jitsu. Grappling is my sport. It's what I love. It's my passion. Now, often people would tell me like, well, you make more money in the fitness world. Don't you just want to lose weight like everybody else? I don't care about that stuff. That stuff is not important to me. Okay. You want to lose weight, eat healthy. It's pretty straightforward, and don't stuff your face. Okay. I understand it can be difficult for some people. And when it comes to nutrition, my methods are very different from others. Okay. I may have some food restrictions, but it's more from a health standpoint. All right. But this post is about living the life. All right. Training for life. So lately, a lot of my posts have been more on pain-free performance. I noticed that a lot of guys who do jiu-jitsu and things like that suffer from a lot of movement issues. I found this out myself. There was a lot of moves I couldn't do in grappling due to the way my lumbar would not move appropriately, or that my thoracic spine was in extension too much. So as I began to develop these techniques to fix myself, I started to realize, man, there's a lot of guys out there who are suffering from the same issues. And so my channel is moving to more pain-free performance. But before that, it was all about training for life. And that still holds true, because I think people misunderstand that I'm not sitting out here just doing a whole bunch of corrective exercises now and mobility drills and whatever you want to call it, okay? Whatever it can to get the job done to help fix my issues. I'm still training. I'm still doing a lot of odd object lifting. I train for life. So if you go back on my Instagram on my posts about 2 years ago, I did a post about training for life because we had a hurricane hit in Louisiana and the trampoline got ripped out of the ground. I had it anchored, ripped out of the ground, hit our house, flipped over the house. It was heading towards the neighbor's house. And my wife said, look, you got to go get it. Okay, you got to tie it down. You got to do something before it hits the neighbor's house, and then we get liable for that damage. So in the middle of a hurricane, I went out there and dragged a broken trampoline, 15 by 15 foot trampoline, the big ones, over 100 yards back to our side and anchored it down. Basically in the dark and in the rain and in the wind. Training for life. Training for situations that show up. All right. Now, I understand for some people are going to watch this video and be like, well, you're talking about training for life, but you're talking about training grapplers. Yes. I'm into jiu-jitsu. I'm into sub-only events. I'm into tournaments. I'm into doing whatever I can to meet the competition. And I do train specifically for jiu-jitsu. But that jiu-jitsu training is still training for life. All right. I train to where when the situation applies itself, I can handle the situation and move forward to my best of my ability. For instance, if someone to attack my family, I'm willing to die for my family. I'm willing to go toe to toe and break them piece by piece. Whatever it takes, even if it means me going down in the process to keep them safe. I use a lot of Atlas stones. I use a lot of various types of maces, short maces, long-handled maces, water-based maces, so there's a lot of offloading all over the place. I got tornado balls. I use sandbags. I incorporate a lot of different things than just your traditional style lifting. The things that really make me apply very awkward angles and awkward pressure in different situations that are going to allow me to be successful, not just in my sport, but in life. So the basis of this post is, seriously, 2 hours ago, my son out here in the beach was getting sucked out into the tide. I was playing with my daughter, who was 2 years old, at the shore, and they started screaming my name. And I saw my son, and I could see him struggling, screaming. And I went out there. Now listen, I'm not deep water trained. I'm swift water trained to a certain extent because I'm a firefighter. But the ocean is not my territory. I went out there. I know you're supposed to swim diagonally across the current. By the time I got to him, about 10 minutes, I kept telling him, about 10 feet, I said, calm down, breathe. He'd been treading water and screaming and crying. He started going under at that point. I ducked under a couple of waves. I got to him. I lost all my footing. It was too deep out there. He was, of course, drowning, didn't know what to do. He's yanking me down under the water. I sucked in a lot of water. And at that point, I honestly thought I was going to die. There's no doubt in my mind. But I had to never give up. I had to not give up. And so as I began to swing diagonally against the current, I was still getting sucked under because the waves were crashing sideways also. So I had to start throwing him 3-4 feet in front of me without any footing, dive under, try to catch my breath as I come up, and then catch him again and throw him. Some other people started coming out, realizing what was going on. They're coming out with life preservers, but I was able to get them all the way up to where those people were and where they had life jackets. They could take him in and keep him safe. But at that point, I couldn't touch. I was taking in so much water, I honestly thought I was going to die. But I was willing to die for my son, because that's my job as a father. But I could not have done it without the training that I've done. People think I'm crazy because I train all the time. You never know when life is going to show up. You never know when life is going to test you. Your life and other people's lives are dependent upon the way you act and the way you treat yourself and take care of yourself. Don't be a person, don't be a victim that just stands there and lets people die. Okay? They actually had a kid out here that I think about 4 days ago got sucked under the tide. They haven't found him yet. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is that I'm training for life. Yes, I'm training for my sport. Yes, I'm training to win. But I'm also training to win in life. I'm training to be a good father. And today it worked. I was able to save my son's life and somehow save my life, which I didn't think I was going to make it, to be honest with you. But I'd rather me die than him die. All right? So, look, this is not about some memorial discount code or some shit like that. I don't do stuff like that. These are my prices. They're straight up. You can go to my website in the bio. You can see it. Standard prices for my app, standard programs. Some of them pretty kick-ass, all right? But they're training for life programs. If you want to work one-on-one, it's kind of awkward. It's actually backwards in a way. It's like $50. It's $50 a month. All right? I'll set you up with your diet. That's what you want. We'll meet you where you're at. We'll set you up with a workout that works best for you. And every month it's another $50. And it's another $50. And it never changes. All right? So train for life. All right? Train to win. Train to save others. Train to save yourself.